On this section now, I want you to tell me things about our template that we should be working on that you don't like. Anybody?
On this particular page, or just
Nope,
in
nope,
general?
nope. In general, or template. What things do you find yourself redoing a lot, or rewriting a lot, or don't? So I see Jose saying food in detail. So what do you mean by the food in detail? This one right here. Typical interior footing.
Hello.
Yep, go ahead.
That one.
So what's wrong about it?
Well, my question is it wrong?
Generally it's okay. There's one thing that's certainly wrong that we were talking about before, but I think it's not wrong here. And this is 12 inches right here. That is true. And this. So okay, so let's evaluate that question differently. You're saying, is it wrong? Depending on the application, it may actually be wrong. If you're doing this on a new house, this is very well done. If you're doing this on a house that you're rehabbing, you will never have this, because it means that they're gonna cut the whole slab and put like this. Do you guys understand what I mean? Like, if this was a new home, you will definitely dig down, get your footing down, put your slab on top, because you know where they go. That's good. But if they're doing an open concept at the first floor, and they need a column that's gonna go down, this is not gonna look like that. The way it's gonna look is generally gonna be like this way. Like, it's gonna be this big, the footing. I mean, depending on how you size it, so don't quote me on it. But what I mean is that this footing will be the 12-inch deep by typically 24 by 24 inches that we do. And this guy right here with the concrete, this stuff will be above it. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, I got it.
So like, because the slab would be poured up to it right here, and you will have a little expansion joint on it. You wouldn't have it like that, because they would pour this first. They will do the footings first, just like they do the foundation. The slab will come after, then they put the stone and all that stuff. And even on that case, I think it's open. It's up for debate. There's some ways of doing it better, but it's only if you really start paying attention to it and thinking, I don't like how that is. I am open for you guys saying, I don't like how that detail is. I'm gonna take a couple minutes out of my personal time. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna send it to Darwin and Marcus. I'm gonna review it, and then we're gonna adopt it as a new standard of flow designer. Why do I have to be the one making it? Or Nicole, she was doing some of this stuff. No, you can do it. Anything else?
Hi, just a note for the detail for the basement. I think footing or crawl space. We need to fix the distance of the 6 inches. That one we need to like rework it a little bit more.
This one right here?
The one, yeah, it doesn't show the right height from the wood to the ground. There's a few things I have to recheck.
Is it this one or no?
Yeah, the distance is there. I don't know why it's not showing, but we should supposed to show like the 6 inches minimum from the siding to the ground. And then there's something else on the schedule too that now we need to show. You guys mentioned that you would prefer us to show the sill height. We don't have that on the schedule. So if we have a big house with a bunch of windows, we have to redraw that line from the bottom to the top of the windows. So maybe the day that we do the office organization, that's something we can also add.
Yeah, so this one has it here. So that's good.
Okay.
Because this is meant to be a blow up of this one. But you're right.
Okay.
That's not the case. So this is a footing detail if we have a crawl space. Crawl space meaning space that doesn't have a basement. And this is a footing detail if we do have a basement. So that's what that's. Yeah, so I got it. So both of them are there. So that's good.
Could you zoom in? I just want to see something else on the blowout one, on the bigger detail, please.
Let me just make sure because technically it doesn't have to be that much. I also think that this is wrong, but these 3 layers, we shouldn't have 3 layers, but okay. So go ahead. What was the other one? The big one? This one?
Yeah, I just want to see that dimension there that, I don't think,
This is
I
not
don't think
right
we should
because it's
show a distance. It should be whatever height the basement is. So I don't know if we should write to be determined or just not show height. I don't know.
this right here.
Or not even that one. I think whatever the distance is inside, we don't show that. Shouldn't we just show whatever the basement height is in our design?
No, no,
I
no.
know that one is correct. That one is
So,
correct.
so this is a typical detail. So just keep in mind, we're just telling contractors, generally do your foundations this way. And distances like these, I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm not gonna be changing it because
Okay.
that I would probably say refer to building section,
Okay, got it.
you know, because we're not gonna tell them how tall. Every project's gonna be different. This is just, and this, by the way, here is telling them, hey, go below frost, which is a Massachusetts standard. That's all it is. I think it's wrong because it's going to the top of the piece. It's actually to be from gray, but that changes. So we might as well just say, you know, minimum frost requirement.
And then just one more that we always have to change. Now, I've been told that we don't show that type of insulation because it's basically saying that that's a bad insulation that we no longer use. So in our details, I know it sounds like minor, but when we're doing a bunch of sections and details, then we have to go one by one and change that symbol for the insulation that it no longer looks like that. It says
So
grade
you're
1.
absolutely right. We're no longer gonna be using this bad insulation for most of our new projects. So, and this is the symbol that represents bad insulation. So you're like, well, Darwin, why don't we just change the name and call it whatever it needs to be? The thing is, it is associated with something. And if we keep using it, then it's gonna be wrong, it's gonna be a problem. That takes that, yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna take note on that. It's gonna take time for me to go through all of these details and make sure that they're good. So that is true. And you guys know that I mentioned it. The code changed. So we have now basically to be able to achieve, and it's not even R30, 25, I think it's R30. So even that we gotta get clarity on. So
31, you said?
I think I did 31 because somebody mentioned that it was 31 on a building inspector, actually. So it came from a reputable source, but I want to make sure that we check that out. Anything else you find yourself redoing a lot other than the detail? Within our presentation package, what typical sheets do you find yourself making that aren't here right now? And is it taking a lot of time for you to be adding these sheets and putting them there? Would it help if I added certain amount of sheets within each one of the steps that we know we're gonna have? For instance, under define, no matter what, we typically have, like, say, a basement, a site plan, a first floor, a second floor, and a roof plan, a 3D, and elevation,
That's
right?
Yes.
So
I don't think we have the 3D sheet there.
you're saying it will help everybody if I added
Yes.
like 7 or 6 different sheets and then you organize them, because you spend a lot of time moving them, creating them, and all that stuff. Is that right?
For me, yes.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So I'll create those sheets and I'll have them in there. Anything else?
I just wanted to ask, can we add a detail for a footing for a steel post on the basement? I haven't seen that. Maybe it's just because I haven't looked at it.
What do you think this is?
Is that for a round
Yeah.
steel? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't see that. But it was
That's the way you would attach it if it's steel. Like it has a
Right.
plate here. Yeah, this one is steel, because guess what? About 99% of the time on basements, we need to do round columns. That's why that's the way it is.
yeah. So we don't do
LVLs,
wood. We don't do wood.
we try to run away
on-
from that on basements. Yep, because they
perfect.
would rot in between the contact with the concrete.
Okay, and do we have a detail for posts, wood posts, landing on foundation walls? Like for example, you have a basement, an existing basement, and you're landing a column on that foundation walls.
That's a good one. I have it somewhere. I don't have it here, but I would want to add it. And there is one that I've been using a lot that I think is gonna help let me show you what I mean by that. I think I could give it for homework to somebody if somebody volunteers to do it, but it is something I keep doing on a lot of projects that I find. Girl Street. This may be it. So I've liked this one quite a bit. This is exist. So this one right here, I've liked a lot. This little detail. I want to make a smart version of it because this is not real. I actually typed like the text on top of another text because this is like a JPEG, but it literally shows you how you nail your LBLs, which people ask you about, and how they sit on top of the post, and how you transfer that load onto another LBL. Let's say this is the ground floor, and then you go down, and this is your typical tube, and maybe you know we just leave question mark in here so that when we size them, we can put them in here. But I think this is a very good. And by the way, this shows what I was just telling Mr. Playtest. If this was to be like a new one, which it is in this one, that's how you will pour it. Does it make sense? Like the slab doesn't sit on top of it.
Yes.
So any volunteers to make this one into a smart version of it? I can get you the JPEG and you just model it and render it and make it look like cool like this. Anybody? All right, no volunteers. I'll take care of that. But yeah, that goes along what you mentioned too, like one post that's wood like this one that sits on a concrete foundation, you know. And that's about it. I'm going to spend some time creating some of these sheets, like I mentioned. I don't know why I learned that we could duplicate sheets, but this is not letting me duplicate sheets. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I
Because
just have one more, Darren, quickly. Sorry.
okay, go ahead.
Just, I don't know if you think it's important, but I find myself every time we have a drop down or like a soffit or something, not having just like the general rule of thumb to like show it properly. So I don't know if a detail like that will help us. I know we have something about ceiling, but I don't know if it's talking about drop down, soffit, like that kind of thing.
Or how to detail a soffit, like to create an like let's say to make it look like the ceiling is up and then there's a such. Okay, well that wouldn't be in a standard detail. I think you will have to maybe we need to create one so that you start with that one and you edit it as you need to. Like, hey,
That's
this is
what I
not gonna
mean.
be that way. Yeah.
Like if
okay.
it's just general, like okay, don't go drop down more than 2 feet because that looks stupid. Or like I don't know if it's a generic way, and then we go from there. What's possible?
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad idea. Let me look into that. Let me look into a detail that we have. Now, if that comes up more than once or twice, it's the first time I hear about it, but that's not a bad idea, like to have it. Now we have 2 minutes, and sorry I took your lunchtime. Put it in the time sheet. Anything else, guys, that you wanna see or discuss? On the next one, the next time we meet, I want to talk about structure. Like the whole hour, just about structure.
There's something I want to mention.
Yep.
When we do a roof in Revit, like for example, you do a gable roof. So when it creates it, it gives like a separation between the attic floor and the roof. Can I share my screen real quick?
I think I can do what you're saying real quick, and I think
Yeah.
if you guys don't mind, we can go a little after.
If you do a section, you see that there's gonna be in the exterior wall line will be a separation between the roof and the attic floor. So that happens when you do it on Revit. And I think that we might pay attention on that because I have done it so many times. And then when I'm working on the section and when I'm working on the detail section for the wall, I don't know where to put the the bottom how do you call?
I got it. So you know what I'm gonna do now? Wendy, I'm gonna respond to this one in another recording right now, and I think it's gonna help everybody. So let's pay attention to this because I know exactly what you're talking about.